All right, let's get Monday started with a couple of guys with a lot of energy. So much energy, they sat down on, say, a Tuesday and wrote a book in a couple of weeks. It's Bryce Wylde and Frank Ferragini. Come on in here. So much energy. How do you do it?
Hey, we did it with a whole lot of vodka.
Oh yeah, baby.
You should see how many bottles we got through of that. Not just writing the book, but actually when we're preparing, you know, for all the photographs in the book. So yeah. That's by the way, and we'll tell you in the book, that's how you make tinctures with 76% spiritus vodka.
Yes, you need a bit of that, and that stuff is very useful for you. But you two are both fathers, you're both husbands, you got careers going on. I think it is so incredible. Give them a big hand for coming out with this. It's Power Plant.
We are proud. We are
Amazing job, guys. Honestly, like I think that's truly incredible. So here's the whole thing behind this. The whole thing behind this is how to plant the plant and grow the plant, and then how to use it. We always say that plants can be used for medicinal purposes and food as well. So this is how it all came together for you two.
I don't have a green thumb. I don't know what these things, you know, how to plant them or what pH soil type or any of that. So I just know what they do, right? Yes. So like in our collaboration, this was just so exciting for me to actually teach people. Everyone's to DIY these days. So we show them how to actually get DIY right there in their backyard. And or even if you don't have a backyard, frankly, if it's your apartment, you know, at the end of the day, you can pop these things up. Good studies showing planting not only reduce stress, help the heart along, but also in some cases, depending on how vigorous you get in your own backyard, reduces your fat tissue, weight loss, right? So really good stuff.
So important for you. So Frankie tells me it all started with this.
I asked him the question. I said, Bryce, we're together one day at City Line because we're working opposite segments. And I said, Bryce, does an apple a day really keep the doctor away? And then we started diving into it, and we came up with, yes, indeed, it does.
Absolutely. An apple and all the other things you can find that are medicinal and green in nature. So our criteria to enter into this book had to be that this plant is something you could easily grow north of about 40 degrees latitude and something that ultimately would translate very easily into a medicine, just like an apple. An apple a day does keep the doctor away.
Oh, good, because I have 2 a day.
Good.
So
Keep doing that. Don't
stop.
So let's get into some plants right now.
Let's start with basil. So all of this stuff can be grown in Canada, right across Canada, coast to coast, right?
You got it. And you know, basil, basilico, whatever you say, this is something that we enjoy so much in our sauces. It is a plant that sometimes can be a little bit difficult in terms of growing. You don't want to put it in a windy location. You want to put it in a good, well-drained soil. The more sun, the better it is for it. As well, when it comes to harvesting in the mid-morning is the best time. Easy to harvest, though. But remember, with herb-type plants, you always want to continually pinch them back, even if you don't need them, so flush more growth. What do you do with it?
Let's see.
There are some this is good for a lot of things. In the book, we talk about all kinds of different recipes, but one thing that a lot of, especially, teens, but as well adults suffer with is acne. So about 25 basil leaves, and you put it into a container, a glass container, you add some yogurt, and this could be any type of yogurt, the Balkan style, and at the end of the day, you're just going to whip that up, and you're turning this into an acne face mask. Okay, so you apply this, a quarter cup of yogurt, 25 basil leaves, the terpenoids, which is the active in this, applied, left on for about 20 minutes, and then washed off with cool water, solves acne.
How often would you need to do that?
Every night, until you see the acne and actually in some cases rosacea and go away. I mean,
and your pets will lick your face. So you will taste so good.
It could be. You walk around smelling like a pizza, but it's worth the treatment. Yeah.
All right, let's try.
Italians with bad skin?
No.
There you go.
Okay, so
let's do oregano.
Oregano is a plant that's just a wonderful one to grow. Very easy, best in full sun location. It's a perennial, meaning that each and every year it's going to come back. However, with oregano, what I want you to be very careful is it will kind of take over the garden in time. So make sure you have it in a fairly contained area that is. You don't need a lot. One plant's going to do a whole lot for you, and it is a fantastic plant for health, especially when it comes to oil of oregano.
Oh, again, so many wonderful properties of so many different active constituents in this. Actually, the Greeks used to use this for anything that's sort of related to an upset stomach, so it's an antibacterial and a bacteriostatic, antiseptic. What you can find in the health food store is quite expensive. So in this book, we teach you how to use the vodka. This is where we bring in vodka as one example, and we make a tincture. So you basically take oregano oil, you let it steep in a mason glass jar like this with vodka for about a month, and then the end result, we tell you how to make this oil. Now, here's what's interesting, a really neat use, we talk about numbers of uses, is a couple of
teeth with that?
Yes, a couple of drops. Yes, a couple of drops. In fact, thymol, which is another ingredient, is the common ingredient found in mouthwash. So a couple of drops on a toothbrush. If you have periodontitis or gum disease, brushing with this prior to brushing with your actual toothpaste can actually, seems to show, reduce instances of heart disease because there's a relationship between the bacteria and, of course, that getting into your system through your gums. A couple of drops of oregano oil.
That is so interesting because then you're going to smell like a salad dressing.
Well, maybe for a couple of minutes, and then you use your own toothpaste to rinse it out.
So good for bad breath as well, I've heard oregano.
Halitosis, you know, which is the medical term for bad breath. And look, smell that. I mean, you can smell the vodka coming off that, but that's the first stage. That's the first stage. You want to drink this back. That's the first stage before you actually.
Some shot glasses.
We had a lot of fun making this book. I'll tell you.
I don't remember half of it. What was it?
I don't know.
It turned out well. Okay, let's talk about rosemary.
We got to let you know as well, we have scientific backing on everything. So just let you know.
If you see all of the resources that were used in this book, so you, when you go to the end, the appendix, you can actually look up where the science has come from.
The 49 plants we went through had to have that qualification. As I said, you can grow it easily where we are right here in North America, but it also had to be evidence-based of the top quality.
Right. Okay. So what about rosemary?
Yeah, rosemary.
Is it easy to grow?
You know what? It can be a little bit more difficult to grow.
Yeah.
It's one that's a Mediterranean plant, so it likes to make sure that its feet are not totally wet. If it's going to have wet feet, it's going to rot out. Commonly, it can get whitefly and/or powdery mildew. We talk about how to fix that as well. It's fairly easy in the summer season to grow, but to overwinter it, to bring it indoors in the winter and overwinter it, that's a little bit more difficult. However, it is a fantastic one that can be harvested during the growing season. And this is a woody plant that you can easily pinch back and create your own rosemary tree from.
So how do you know when to start doing that pinching back, Frank?
Well, basically with herbs, a lot of the times, and many of them, not so much with rosemary, you're always trying to pinch them before they go into flower. So as soon as you see a bud stage, you want to pinch.
Okay.
Pinching them back is going to stimulate more growth, make it a fuller looking plant. And remember, the more haircuts, the better. So it really wants to be cut during. And by no more than a third at a time, you're not going to do it any harm.
All right. Got to get rid of those dead ends.
Yeah.
Okay,
I'm going to show you. I mean, this is a super easy thing to make. So why don't you step over here? You're going to just break those up into small pieces, and you're going to put it onto either a piece of cheesecloth or a simple cleaning cloth that you have around the house. And what you're doing is releasing cineol. And cineol is one of the active ingredients found in rosemary. So you can crush it up, break it up like that. Then you're going to, wrap this together. Okay. You're going to put an elastic around it.
Like a little pouch?
Just like a pouch. You're going to put the elastic around, tie it at the top. She's just created a bath bomb, a rosemary bath bomb. The Greeks also used to use this to enhance memory, and it's actually now proven that cineol found in rosemary enhances memory. So either prior to studying for an exam or you just want to relax, the cineol actually improves blood flow to the brain, relaxes smooth muscles, and enhances blood flow to the brain, therefore enhancing memory.
What, you throw this in the bath?
Right in the bath, and you'll start to smell that very camphorous odor.
That is a smart idea.
Yeah.
And it's a lot cheaper than getting something really expensive at the store. What are you getting smarter?
I'm trying to remember what I was supposed to do next.
When's my wedding anniversary?
Exactly.
Think about it.
My wife's birthday, April 27th.
Oh, I got it. Forget that. If you want to supercharge this, add a little bit of Epsom salts into this, and now actually Epsom salts will increase the absorption as well as to increase the effect of relaxation.
Good stuff.
Let's get over to that berry though. That Haskap berry.
Okay, sure. Let's
bring
do
it
that
right into the center here. This thing is an amazing berry. In terms of the plant itself, it is the earliest plant that will flower for you here in Canada. It's the earliest berry. It's going to put a berry on before strawberries. Very easy to grow, developed by the University of Saskatchewan. A fantastic new product. Full Canadian success story. It's not the most ornamental plant, meaning that it's not the sexiest looking plant, but in terms of what it produces, gold.
It does. It gets the job done.
Yeah.
So this is way better than a blueberry. That doesn't mean don't throw out your blueberries.
Okay.
But this is a blueberry times 1,000.
Well, it's times 5 actually, as the literature purports, because what you're looking to get, we're all told to eat our blueberries for the antioxidants. This is why we're told to eat lots of fruits and vegetables. Eat your rainbow. This happens to be very purple, as you can see. It stained my fingers there already. And this purple has a lot of polyphenols in it. So do blueberries, but 5 times more in the Haskap. It's a really neat sort of oblong-looking, shape berry, and it's quite tart and bitter. But it's 5 times more because the Haskap meat, essentially, is all purple. Compared to the blueberry, if you've ever broken it in half or cut it in half, you can see that flesh is actually transparent or translucent. But in the Haskap, so amazing heart qualities, protecting of the heart, the brain. It's very anti-inflammatory. Inflammation is a medical buzz term of the day for a reason. We want to control it. Eating more Haskap berry. We tell you about these amazing recipes in the book, making juice, making syrups, making, drinks, and even, by the way, another reason to put a little vodka is a martini, perhaps, it makes a lot of different...
Martini.
Haskap
always ends up with vodka with him.
It's where it all begins and where it all ends. You
it's just at the end. I'm just going to cleanse with vodka.
On that note, we do tell you how to use milk thistle to detox the liver. As I often quip, what's the point of detox unless you retox?
I agree. Put it here.
Right?
I like that theory. Very nice.
In all seriousness.
So listen, will we talk about growing that at all?
Yeah, you know what? In terms of the berry itself, a very easy one. It's going to be in a fairly well-drained soil.
Yeah.
But the benefit of this for Canadians and many of those that watch us in some areas where it's really hard in terms of hardiness, this is one of the hardiest berries that you can grow. So if you've never had success with berry, Haskap's the berry to grow. It was developed by the University of Saskatchewan, and it's basically a berry that comes from Siberia.
Okay.
So it is just
it's hardy.
And then the Japanese caught on. Hokkaido is a northern province of Japan. They used to grow this and use this. It was called the berry of longevity, and for a good reason. Again, all these wonderful medicinal properties when it comes to Haskap. And anti-ager. Yeah.
Bing, 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 bing. That's the buzzword these days, let me tell you. Well, thanks to Haskapa, our audience will have the chance to try the Haskap berry jam, since each of you are going to be taking a jam home. So try it out.
Here's the help.
Yeah,
Believe it or not, we've just hit the tip of the iceberg where power plants are concerned. Not to worry, everyone will be receiving a free copy of this book, Frank and Bryce's Power Plants, courtesy of HarperCollins. And if you're at home and you'd like to purchase this book, make sure you go to cityline.ca and we will give you a link. Let's go to break. More coming up. Congratulations, guys.
That's a vodka.